You're listening to Permission to Shine, the podcast by Sherisse Bisram. The Oxford Dictionary describes permission as the action of officially allowing someone to do a particular thing, consent, authorization. What if you were that someone and you gave yourself the permission to be everything you wanted to be and more? No more playing small and accepting less than. You are worthy of the life of your dreams, regardless of what it is that you've been through. And honestly, it's exactly what you've been through that has shaped you into the version of yourself that you are now. Like a diamond, you've endured so much, but instead of breaking, you have become stronger and brighter. And if that's not a reason to shine, then I don't know what is. And if nature can do it, then why the hell can't you? You are brave, you are strong, you are powerful, and you are enough. Hear my call and give yourself the permission to shine, because you don't realise how many people are inspired by your light. Like, share, follow, subscribe, and listen out for more. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 6 and it's just with me again. But I really wanted to talk about some really important things that come up quite a lot in the work that I do and also in people's lives just in general. And the real core of today is really about alignment, your soul's purpose. What is all of that? How can you enhance it? How can you connect with it more? And if you're not in alignment or if you're not aligned with your soul purpose, I'm going to kind of give you some tools and tips that will help with that. And also I'm going to add in a visualization today because that is a part of my programs and also a part of my daily practice. And I think if you've never done anything like this before, it is so powerful. Like my clients have seen just amazing results, even from like the first session that I ever did to now. And each time I change it and tweak it, and you can do the same thing. Once you get into the flow of doing these types of practices, it just really quantum leaps you into the next level and the next level self that you want to be, because essentially we are creating future memories. And that's how it works with manifestation. So essentially we are going to manifest our dream reality if we're not in it now. And if you are in your dream reality, then it's just strengthening those thoughts and feelings to call in more of what you want. But, you know, even if we are in the highest version of ourselves, there's always space to be more, right? And have more, because you deserve to have more. There's not a cap. There's not a limited supply of what you want in the universe. There's always so much more of that. So first of all, let's talk about our purpose. Now, this comes up so much in obviously my other podcast episodes that you've listened to before, and my guests talk about purpose a lot. And it really is the reason you feel like you were put here on this earth, right? And I know that's very philosophical, but as you know, I'm a woo-woo person. And I just feel like it's that soul alignment, that real connection that we have with our inner, deepest, most centered self, right? And I would say that we are, as human beings, a physical body, also a spiritual body. So your soul essentially is who you are. The body is just the fleshy outside, right? You are not your thoughts, you are the awareness of your thoughts. And that's from the book Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. And that quote has stayed with me for a really long time. I actually, probably around this time last year, I heard that quote. I read the book and it was another life-changing book. So I definitely recommend it if you're into that. And it's basically saying that every day, constantly, our thoughts are racing through our mind. And it could be, you know, like, oh, I need to do that today, or I should do that today. And then, or we start to have, you know, thoughts of negativity or judgment on thoughts on people and situations and things like that. But what I know for sure is, from obviously understanding that book, is that all of those thoughts are just noise. And it's not actually who we are. We are the thing that's observing the rest of those thoughts. So, yeah, I know that sounds quite complex, but that version of yourself, you know, that thing that, and again, I guess Gary Zukov speaks about it, seat of the soul. It's like you are sitting back and observing your thoughts and how you perceive the world, how your body and how this being perceives the world. And I know this is super woo-woo, so I'm going to try and draw you back in now. So you are more than your physical body, is essentially what I'm saying. And you were chosen, your soul chose this body, this lifetime, whether you believe that or not. I believe that to be true. Again, whatever you believe is okay as well. And we want to take that on board at every stage of the journey, because what you believe is your truth. There's no two ways about it. You know, like if you are heavily religious and you believe in God, or if you believe in Hinduism, or you know, any of the other religions, you know, that is true. That is true because it's your reality. And that's all you need to worry about, right? But essentially, what I want you to know is that you are so much more than this physical reality you're living now. And that's also really plays in well with manifestation as well, because we are living life in this current reality. It doesn't have to always be that way. So I want you to remember that, because we're going to come back to that at another stage. Well, yes, circle back to it. So your purpose is what is in alignment with your soul. So not your body, but your soul. What is the thing that you do that lights up every part of your being, that calls you to feel that tingle of like beautiful energy that surges through, or the excitement of knowing that you're going to get to do this thing? And equally, you know, that emotion you have around certain people, right? Could be your best friends, it could be your pets, it could be your family members, it could be your partner, you know, like that feeling of pure bliss that is like a tingly feeling in every area of your body. And if that's something that you don't have right now, that is something that needs to be activated. So I think I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again because it's so prevalent. And it basically is that in our lives in general, we need a mixture of feminine and masculine energy. Now, the feminine energy in our lives is the creativity. And as I said, this is not gender-based. This is just, you know, polarity of two different energies in all of us. And yeah, the creativity is what brings and heightens all of this soul's purpose, this energy, all of the being. It's all of this. So if you do not have an element of the feminine energy, the creativity in your life, you're going to feel very stuck. Things are going to feel very rigid. You're going to feel like heavy because you're trying to push forward in the doing. And I say that with such conviction because I've lived in that space. And although being a dancer obviously is creative, when you put limitations on it and expectations, that's when it becomes rigid and hard. So if you are not doing things just for the joy of it, just because you like it, you are not really living, you're just existing, right? Life should be enjoyed. And I know that that's a very heavy statement to make for people that are not enjoying life. You have to find moments to enjoy it. You cannot just live your life and pay your bills and that's it. There is so much more to life within that. And it's how can you free up more space in your life to find that joy and that creativity? Because yes, you need to earn money to pay your bills and all of these things. But if you are not truly finding bliss in every area of your life, and if you're not enjoying the journey, you are making it 10 times harder for yourself. And actually, I kind of put that into play with mentoring as well. You know, like I always say to people that you are always going to get to where you're supposed to be in your life, right? You will always get there. I just firmly believe that with every part of my knowing is that our life paths, the end goal will always be the same. We'll always get to that place that we were supposed to get to. Now you can trudge through the mud, you can go the longest way around, or you could go the scenic route and you can enjoy every part along the way. It might be a shortcut, might be easier. You meet incredible people along the way. And with a mentor, you have that ability to be able to cut out the heaviness of doing everything on your own. And that's something that I've only found, obviously, through having a mentor myself, and then also being a mentor, is just seeing how much transformation can happen just in the click, you know. But equally, finding your soul's purpose, it is all of these things, you know, like if you are finding that life feels hard and there is no area of your life that you enjoy, or you feel like you're just saving up every year to go on holiday once a year, that isn't truly living. And I know that this is quite a hippie thing to say for a lot of people that aren't in that space, but every day there is something that you can enjoy, right? There's something that you can find a moment of bliss in. So whether it's like you like listening to music, it's whether you like doing Sudoku or reading books or algebra, whatever it is that gives you that feeling, that tingly sensation, that is what you should be doing more of. Now, not everything needs to be monetized. So I just want to make that very clear, like if you can live your life for your purpose and you get paid to do it, that is like top tier, like incredibleness. But equally, if you want to keep your passion as a hobby or just recreational, that's equally as beautiful because then you get to do both. But what I would say is make sure that they're in balance. So you're not doing, 40 hours of work a week and only 1 hour of your favorite thing, because that's not going to be an even balance. You need to find that balance in your life. And it is about prioritizing it. A lot of us say, oh, I just don't have the time. You're not making time, and that is the difference, and I know this could be probably what no one wants to hear, but at the same time, we only know what we know. So sometimes we need to be reminded of what that looks like and how we can make that work for ourselves. An hour a day could be a great start. Could be a great start to just adding that in. And if you don't have an hour a day, maybe it's like on the way to work, like these little commutes. How do you find bliss in that? Now, if your passion is like pottery or baking, obviously you're not going to be able to do that in that space, but you can make sure that maybe every other day when you get in from work, you have the time to do that. That's all of the things that I speak about in finding your purpose. It's where is the joy? Where is the joy in your life, and how can you amplify it and make more of it? Because equally, I feel like we're such conditioned to focus on money in this world. Money is energy. Money is literally energy. I say this all the time, like we are on a floating rock in space, and we've been made to think that money is a piece of paper that's printed on, or numbers in our bank account. And it's not just that, right? And I know that that's, again, I'm sort of throwing out some really woo-woo things today, but I'm challenging you. And it might not be everything I say right now, might just be like, whoa, this is a lot. But throughout the week, throughout the month, you're going to start to see now what I've said, because this is the law of manifestation, right? Once you have that in your mind, you're going to start to process that and be like, yeah, I see what you mean. And a lot of things, like passions and stuff like that can be free. You might love running. That costs nothing, to do that. And it's just finding and making time for it, because if that's the thing that brings you joy, you won't be tired doing it. You won't be exhausted doing it. Whereas if your 9 to 5 or the job that you're in that you aren't enjoying is making you feel actually drained physically and burnt out, the exchange of doing the thing that you want to replace that energy, to enhance that energy, to fill you up like a battery, that is worth so much more than, not doing it, right? Because it's the cost of happiness, it's the cost of fulfillment, it's the cost of your purpose, and equally, your purpose might not be to be a runner, right? But if it brings you joy, you are along the way to finding your purpose. And yeah, I guess that's really, in summary, finding your purpose means finding your joy. Where are the moments that you have joy in your life, and how can you enhance it and make more of it? Because that's what's going to clear the pathway to being in your purpose. And again, you have to explore, you have to trial and error. If you don't have a purpose, you don't know really what it is that brings you joy, it's trying new things and challenging yourself. As again I said, we only know what we know. So if you keep doing the same thing you've always done, you're never going to get the different result. And that's the space here. It's like, let's be kids again, let's be creative, let's be curious, because that's where, asking questions, going in as a beginner, there's so much space for growth there. Like if we were an expert at everything, it would take the enjoyment out of it. It takes the enjoyment out of learning and seeing things with fresh eyes. Think about when you're younger and the world just looks so big and so expansive and you can't wait to do those things. It's almost having that childlike curiosity to approach, everything in life to an extent, because life looks different that way. And I think that's what we've lost, and that's been knocked out of us as adults, is that idea that things have to be rigid, they have to be hard, and we have to work hard for them. That is a narrative that I really believed with every part of my being. And since I've shifted that, things do always feel different. And I can really see how much, like more abundant my life is for it. And again, like people might say, well, you found your purpose, it's easy, rah, rah, rah. But that's only because again, I trial and error, you know. And with dance, obviously, I always loved dance and all of these things. But as I've said a few times, dance isn't my purpose. It is a passion of mine, but it's not my purpose. My purpose is helping people. And I found that through being a dancer, well, through being a dance teacher, actually, which was, you know, dancer first, then dance teacher alongside of it, and then now mentor. And that's a beautiful space, you know, to finding it, what it is. And equally, if I look at my life's journey, which I've said a few times, things have been really difficult, you know, really, really difficult in my life. And to the point where I didn't think I'd make it out of a lot of those situations. But now, looking back at all the pain I endured in that time and things being so hard and going against the grain and having to go the long way around everything, I can really see that I had to do that because now I have a story to tell and I have actual proof of what works and how I can get everyone out of it, you know. So, yeah, everything happens for a reason. So, if you are feeling really super stuck right now, ask yourself, what am I learning in this space? And how can I shift things around to find more time to do the things I enjoy? Because that really is it. You know, time is our biggest should be the biggest factor in everything we do because you can always make more money. You can never get time back. And I think that's the most important thing. How can you use your time more wisely to fulfill your purpose, to fulfill your passions? And it's all of that stuff. So hopefully I've kind of covered like the importance of what purpose is and how you can look to find it in that. Next, I want to talk about alignment. So this is all very, you know, it all interconnects everything that I'm talking about now. So passion, purpose, alignment, it's all the same thread, really, you know, like it's all in this golden weave that we have of our own lives. And that is really what it is. So I'm going to take my earring out just in case you can hear tapping because I can hear the tapping on my ear. So I just don't want to disturb you if you're having a chilled time, you know. So with alignment, feeling and being in alignment, again, feels a bit like joy, but not as intense. So, you know, like when you're in real joy and bliss, you have, like I said, those tingly feelings and all of that. Alignment is the path of least resistance. I'm going to say that again. Alignment is the path of least resistance. So again, we've been caught up in this cycle of working really hard, pushing against the grain, grind culture. If I'm not exhausted at the end of it, I didn't do a good job. No, honey. And I say no, honey, because I was there, I lived it, and it was hard and it was unfulfilling and difficult and all the things, you know, all the bad things. And it all led to each other. It was self-perpetuating. It was a vicious cycle of just, yeah, working too hard, getting burnt out. And then I'd go traveling for a bit and do the same cycle over and over again. It's, yes, it just diminishes your soul in the end, right? And it makes you resent your purpose, so-called quote unquote purpose then, because that was my ego led in that space, you know, like I was searching for validation through my dance career and all of the things to make people see me as successful and all of that. And I'm sure we've all been there at some point in our lives. You know, maybe it's that our family wanted us to have a really important job in law, so we worked really hard to get that job and that degree and all of those things. And then we're in that space and actually we don't want to do that. We actually want to be a painter and artist and we've gone against what our soul wants to do. That is out of alignment because you're resentful, you're not enjoying yourself, you're doing it for validation. When you are doing what you love, it will feel easy. It will feel blissful. And being in alignment, that is really the core of it, you know. And you can be in alignment with lots of different things. Like it's moments of flow, and that flow state is ease. It's like when we are with a friend and the hours pass away because we've just spent that time and the conversation flows, and it's almost about, you know, we're talking about things that you've seen that day or, you know, you've done, and both people have an equal exchange of conversation. It's not one person talking at another. It's a real equal balance. That's a beautiful alignment, right? Even down to, say, for example, you want a new car and you've spoken about the car You go into the dealership and you see the car that you want. That's alignment. So you can align in lots of different things, and that ties into the manifestation game as well. Because when your soul is seeking something, it desires something, the law of manifestation is that it will be presented to you. So this is how everything ties in, because alignment is ease. It's the connection to our highest energy vibration. So that is the joy part. So when you're feeling joy, you're feeling ease, you're feeling flow, you are in alignment, and then you are equally calling in your manifestations in that vibration. Now, the last few days, and I would say the last week or so, I've had a lot of conversations with people about jealousy, and not necessarily the people being jealous, but other people being jealous of them. And it's quite a complex situation, jealousy, but it is a low vibrational frequency to be jealous, because essentially what you're saying in that is that you don't have the thing that that other person has, or and envy is obviously a byproduct of that. So being jealous is that you don't have the thing and you feel like you deserve it. Being envious is saying that you would like that thing, but you don't have it. Either way, you don't have the thing that you want, and you're saying to the universe, I don't have it, which is the lowest form of vibration to the universe, because the universe wants you to know and feel like you can have the thing you want, and that's how you manifest it. You have to meet the vibration of what it is you want. You have to both be there, whereas when you're underneath it, you're never going to get it, and you're going to be constantly chasing it. So that is when you're out of alignment of your thing that you want. And what I will say about jealousy is there is a way where it works, being envious in a way that makes you drive and push harder and know that actually that inspires me to do better. That there's a nice silver lining on that, right? But it might just be, my personal opinion on jealousy is if I see someone else doing well, I know that it'll be my turn next, or I'm just really happy for that person that they got what they wanted. Because a lot of the time, you might not even want what that person has. It's just the idea of they are now successful and you might not feel successful, or you might feel like that was really easy for them and it's always been hard for you. But if you believe it's always been hard for you, it will always be hard for you. And I've had to learn that myself, because I really did adopt that narrative. Now, the universe always showed me that, because that was what I'd learned from my lived experiences in my childhood, is that I had to work really hard, or things didn't come easy, and all of those things that I believed. The minute I shifted my mindset to know that everything happens for a reason and everyone's paths are paved out for them, and what's mine will always come to me, and I'm already living in that reality where I have everything that I want and it's all here, that really is the shift. And this is where the subconscious mind training comes in, okay? And this is where the visualizations really helped me. And I feel like the visualization really is, I would say, the final step in manifesting, because I already have to feel good before I enter that space. If I enter that space of visualization and I'm feeling on a lower vibration of what I want, again, I'm going to go into that feeling of wanting it rather than already knowing that I have it. And that might seem complex in itself, but when you feel and know that you already have all of your desires, all that is possible for you, that is when the universe conspires to meet you at the thing. And it can look different, but if you are specific on what it is you want, that helps. That really, really does help the universe. So what I would say is, if you're feeling out of alignment at the moment, the best thing you can do, and if you are feeling jealous as well in this same thing, like if you're out of alignment, you're feeling jealous, you're feeling resentful, you have to focus on finding joy. So this is where it circles back to the purpose, finding the passion, what makes you feel good, and what can you do more of to enhance that? How can you do more of that thing? And that is going to raise your vibration. That's going to put you in a state of knowing and feeling like you have what you deserve, and just knowing you're worthy of it. Like I always say, that manifestation is a byproduct of high and deep self-worth. So if you are in a state of joy, you're doing something you really love and you're good at it, that is a proven fact to your subconscious mind that you are worthy and life can be fun, life can be enjoyable. and you're worthy of good things, it's all of these facts that you are enabling in this moment for yourself. You know, you're saying, yes, I am that, and I am worthy of that because I get to feel that here. And the more you do it, if it's an hour a day, if it's for 10 minutes a day, if it's for 3 minutes a day, whatever it is, if you can tap into that moment of joy, that is going to then set you up to enhance your vibration at every stage. And just being still in these situations, you know, if you are feeling jealous, there's a little bit of resentment, if there's a little bit of burnout, pausing for a moment to identify that thought as it comes up, letting it pass. Now, I know that that takes time to build. And as always, my journal is in the notes. So if you feel like that's something you want to purchase to help you with that release, it is all about understanding that, again, we are the awareness of our thoughts. So I know those thoughts feel dominant. They feel like they're taking over your whole mind. But when we acknowledge it, we take away its power. So if you can say, okay, I see you. I see you jealous for. It's okay. It's good. You can let it go. And that is really where the beauty of doing the work comes in, because you make space, you clear all of the space. And I always say, you know, with all of this doing the work, it's a bit like there's blocks and layers in front of our what it is we want to achieve. So if you imagine a pipe, for example, so, you know, like a drain pipe, through your gutter or whatever it is, right? If it's all filled up with mud and dirt and all of these things, the water, the air can't flow through it. And it's the same with your manifestations, your limiting beliefs, your self-sabotaging thoughts, societal expectations, the narratives that you've been told for other people, and maybe the judgments of other people have blocked your path, blocked your pipe. And what you need to do is keep pushing them out. You know, like every time you decide to do a layer of the work, you know, unpack what that opinion, who gave you that opinion and where does it come from, or that narrative in society, do you want to believe that anymore? No, you're clearing that pathway, you're clearing that drain pipe out, then your manifestation can flow straight through the middle and up into reality so you can receive it. And that is, again, the beauty of alignment. Now, what I will say is, like always, it's a healing and living and evolving is always in a circle. So we're always going to come back to these moments where sometimes we do feel in a lower vibration, or, you know, sometimes things do feel a little bit hard. That's part of being human. So please don't take anything away from, like, you know, you're not going to live in a constant state of everything is amazing all the time. It's not, because if it was like that all the time, you wouldn't appreciate it, because it would just be your normal way of living, right? But if you can understand that you can find those moments in everything, you know, like if it is a situation where something's gone wrong, if you can identify and know that that didn't feel good, I didn't like that happened, but I accept it. What did I learn from that going forward? And it might be a story that you tell to others to help them, or it might be something you remember along your way. And again, this is what I feel like with our life paths. You know, the reason you might not have found your purpose just yet is because there were lessons you needed to learn in the thing that you're doing now. There's always a chance to start again, start anew. Doesn't matter if you are, you know, in your early 20s, in your teens, or if you are in your 50s or 60s. You can start where you are and get to the result that you want. There is no right time to start apart from now, okay? Like now is it. So if you found that you've lived your whole life resentful, doing what you thought that you had to do in order to be successful, or maybe you are successful and you're making a lot of money, but actually what you do doesn't serve you, how can you take the weight off of that? You know, like my mentor says, if you can't take a step out of your business, you're in a job. And a lot of people are in jobs, right? A lot of us are just making ends meet or whatever it is. But if that doesn't serve you, if you're not enjoying that, can you leave? That's an option. Yep. And I know that's the biggest, scariest jump, right? It's just jump in. But what can you do each day to add in a bit more joy? Because the joy is the passion and that is the alignment. And when we have that synchronicity, that's where the manifestations flow. So that's how I want to just full circle all of that stuff. So we have to have that alignment to our truest self, to our passion, to our purpose. And again, we find our purpose with doing the things we enjoy, being curious and being open-minded to what could happen. You know, it's not ruling out, it's not making statements like, oh, I can't do that because. then you set a limitation for that. It's okay, I'll give it a try, or you know what, that doesn't feel right for me, but maybe I'll try this instead. You have so much power in your thoughts and in your choices. And I said that before in my last episode, how to harness your power is all tied into this same ethos. And again, I just want to make that really clear because, you know, it's all tied in to this same thing, this same umbrella of living the life that you fully and truly deserve. It just comes from within. Everything you're searching for is already inside of you. So I think that it's just how can you let that out, let that breathe, let that flow in the most beautiful way. So to round off the session, I said I was going to do the visualization with you. So if you can find a quiet space, sit down. If you can't right now, come back to this. I don't recommend doing it while you're driving because you're going to need to really focus in. So just find a moment where you can just have a couple of minutes to yourself, be undisturbed, headphones in, and sit in a nice, really comfortable spot. And what we're going to do is we're going to visualize the life of our dreams. We're going to visualize that, and we're going to work on quantum leaping. So what happens when we quantum leap is that there are multiple layers to the universe, that are energetic layers, and there are multiple realities on top of one another. This is what quantum leaping is. If anyone's seen Doctor Strange, the multiverse, Interstellar, that also has it. I think I've mentioned these before. There is a version of you that has exactly what you want. That's why you have the desire for it. Okay, that's why it's there. That's why you feel like you want it. It's because you have it in another reality. I know, super woo-woo, but why not give it a try? Yeah, be open-minded to it. It should feel really nice and lovely. And that's essentially what we're going to do. We're going to collapse time into this reality. Find a quiet space, and we're going to go into the alpha and theta brainwaves. And in this state, we are the most relaxed, the most susceptible, and the most open to receiving the things that we want. So I want you to close your eyes if you can. And we're going to start to focus on our breath. So just normal breathing for the meantime. Get really still. Okay, now I want you to think about breathing in for 4. Hold. And out. And hold. And in. And out. Take a big breath in. And you're going to breathe up to the highest point of the universe. I want you to see a really bright white light, and you're going to breathe up to that point, breathing it in. And at the top, you're going to breathe out that light all the way through the center of your core, the root of the earth, breathing it out. Take that light from the root of the universe up to the highest point again. And down, back to the core. And as you breathe in, breathe the light into your body. Move that light around your body just as you breathe out. Now I want you to think about your third eye space. I want you to take that light into your third eye space. And I want you to let it open up a memory, a vision. It's going to start to open up. Now you're going to start to look into this vision. And in this vision, you are the happiest, the most successful, the most abundant version of yourself. And I want you to step in through that vision now. What is it that you are doing? Look around. Who are you speaking with? What is your surroundings? Are you at work in a job that you enjoy? Are you in a new home, the home that you've been looking at pictures of? Touch the surfaces. How does it feel? What clothes are you wearing? How does it feel on your skin? If you're in your new home, are you cooking dinner? What does the food smell like? Feeling your body, how does this feel? Does it feel exciting? Does it feel safe? Does it feel that inner knowing that you are meant to be here? And this is actually, yeah, I did it. Is it that space and that feeling? Who are you with? Are you with loved ones? Are you with your future partner or your best friend? Are you laughing and joking? Are you hugging? How do they feel? You can touch their hand or stroke their head or whatever it is. Do you have a child with you? Is that something you're wanting? Is it that you're on stage and there's thousands of people cheering you on? Are you doing something you love? Maybe you're painting or you're being free or running in open spaces. How does it feel to be you in that now? And I want you to walk up to that version of you, the you in this vision. And I want you to step into that version of you now. Feel your bodies merge and align. Know that this is you. This is your memory. This is your future and your present. This is everything that you've always wanted, and you are here. And how beautiful does that feel? Does your body feel tingly? Do you just feel so happy and just aligned with who it is that you're supposed to be? Really feel into this space and just breathe it in for a moment. Deep breath it in. And breathe into your body. And just turn around and walk back through that third eye space. I'm just going to breathe normally. Start to move our fingers and toes. I'm going to imagine that light space in our third eye is starting to close because you're it. You're it. You're that space. You're in that space. I want you to start to blink your eyes open slowly. Open your eyes. Take a big deep breath in. And breathing out. Amazing. So if you have a bit of pen and paper, I want you to write down now what it is that you saw, how you felt, and what everything looked like. So be really specific and write it all down, pen and paper, because that's the most powerful hand connection manifestation. And I want you to fold it up and put it somewhere. So you don't have to look at it every day. You can put it in a drawer, but I want you to keep hold of that for as long as you can, because one day you will come back to that piece of paper and I promise you, you would have willed that into existence, because that is the beauty of feeling it and knowing it. And if that's something that feels very strange or you didn't quite see anything yet, do it a little bit more. You could always come back to this episode and just fast forward to the end, and I'll start to add more of this into my sessions, and I'll upload some separate bits as well on other platforms. But I just want you to know that this is the law of manifestation. Is once you can see it, the universe will conspire it into existence. So to summarize, finding your purpose is following your passion. And when you follow your passion, you find pure alignment to who you are, your purpose in this world. And when you have that, you create and receive all of your manifestations, because it just is. That's just how the universe and the powers above work. You are worthy and deserving of everything that you want. And I really want you to know that and believe that. And if you feel like you don't feel worthy of the things that you want, if that is something that you are still dealing with, please do get the journal, because I feel like we can journal free writing all we want, but sometimes when we feel really lost, it's really hard. So I just want you to know that the link to my journal will always be in the notes. If you need additional support, my mentorship programs are available. I've got Permission to Shine, which is my 6-week group program. That will commence on the 22nd of May for the second cohort. And also my individual one-to-one sessions. I've got 90-day programs that are now open. So if you feel like you are ready to become the most unstoppable, the most fearless, the most confident, the most empowered version of yourself you have ever been, I will absolutely get you there in 90 days. So yeah, something to think about, but equally, just remember that everything happens for a reason. You weren't put on this earth to struggle. You were put on this earth to thrive. So what is this current situation teaching you? If it is hard, and if you're enjoying life and everything feels good and amazing, know that there's more of that to come, and you can enhance it, and you can always keep up leveling. You don't have to stay the same level that you're at. You can keep expanding, because you are allowed to live in greatness, in abundance, and in all these things. And it is stepping stones to get there, but you will absolutely get there. As I said, your path is forged already. How you get there is determined by you and the path that you choose to take. But you will always get to where you're supposed to be, I promise. So yes, lots of love always, and I'll see you next time. Lots of love. To work with me, head to my website or my social media platforms. I offer sessions such as workshops in schools and workplaces. I deliver talks, and I also have programs available, and I'm available for one-to-one sessions on a 6-month, 3-month and 6-week basis. My work is all about taking you through the journey of self-discovery, all the way to true, authentic confidence and empowerment, unlearning and dismantling all of your limiting beliefs, getting to the root of who you are inside, and building you up on a foundation of self-worth, self-acceptance, self-awareness and deep self-love. You are the only you there is, and that is your superpower.